Welcome to the Bayern View. Hope you guys are all doing well. I do apologise. It wasn't Taylor's fault. He's probably been sat for about half an hour. It's my fault that we're late. I do apologise. But either way, we're here. Hope you guys are all doing well. Obviously, you've seen this man before. You've seen him before on loads of the live shows. Me and him are personal friends. We know each other personally from school and shit like that back in the past. But obviously, he's got a channel. It's added in the title. Please go over there, hit the subscribe button. You might not be a Man United fan, but he makes some good content over there. Some funny content as well, to be honest. Man. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, not too bad. Slow one today, but getting there.
Yeah. You can't upload 7 videos in one day. Not all the time.
No, not yet. Maybe. I'll have a good day someday.
Yeah, right. So what's going on? We'll start with you. We'll start with Man United first. So what's going on from your end then?
So no news on the takeover. That's once again been stalled. That probably won't be announced. I think till end of this month or beginning of next month. Just because that's what the Glazers are. They're just going to do that. There is some news on Højlund transfer, where we might be putting in Greenwood into that deal because Ten Hag doesn't want him, wants him out. So they said, why not try and put him in the deal, offer a little bit of money, because Greenwood is actually better. Well, he was when he was playing better than Højlund. His ability and everything about him was so much better. So hopefully put him in, a little bit of money, get Højlund in, nice and young. That sounds completely wrong, but we move. Hopefully it all works, but with a 20-year-old from Atalanta, you would never know if he's going to be.
It's a risk,
yeah. But if you're adding in a player that you want rid of and a little bit of money, then I think it will be worth it because it's getting rid of a stench that needs to go in.
Mm-hmm.
And not like this sort of loan, because that's still paying wages, still coming to come back.
Club,
Exactly. So, and if he doesn't want Juventus, then he needs to go somewhere.
Just get out.
Because that was the main one. Yeah, exactly. But I think that's
what
the main one. Oh no, that's getting more advanced each hour of the day. Getting there, I think everything is pretty much there. I think we're just waiting on the here we go from Fabrizio Romano.
From Fab, yeah.
Yeah. Not sure what the whole bid will be. Because I think we did go to 50 million euro with 5 add-on. I think because they were asking for a minimum of 55 mil. So I think 50 and 5 add-on should do the trick. But yeah, no, he's agreed. He's all good and ready to go. Just waiting on basically the here we go from Fabrizio. But other than
is there anybody else in the mix or not? Obviously, Mason Mount's number 7 and all of that.
He's got the old number 7. Still not heard anything on selling players. Fred could be the first one to go, from what I'm hearing. I think a few teams are interested. They've not said who, but they said he could be the biggest target at United. Obviously, other than if the Højlund Greenwood deal goes through, then but obviously it's not selling, but it just helps with a deal. But other than that, I think there's not been too much. Other than that, and especially today, anyway, I think Onana's just been the massive one that we've been wanting.
Yeah. So who would be not necessarily personally is in your view, but who would be the ones that are being linked out of the club then?
So, like I said, Fred, he's the biggest one. There's so far nothing on Harry Maguire. nothing on McTominay because they were thinking about putting him in the deal with Declan Rice, but obviously we're not getting Declan Rice. So that's not really go. But they want like 30 mil for Declan Rice, near 30 mil for Dean Henderson. Because obviously he wants out, and I don't know what. You know, I didn't care. We are actually looking at another goalkeeper as well as a backup, because obviously we're going to get rid of a few. So by the looks of it, Tom Heaton will go, Dean Henderson will go, and David De Gea as well. So that's 3 goalkeepers. Obviously, we need a backup. We always tend to get like a lone goalkeeper as a backup, like because last season we brought in Butland on loan just in case anything happens. Obviously, he didn't even play a game either.
Yeah.
But we so I just said the one from Japan. Apparently, he seems a bit. He's a promising goalkeeper, but not heard nothing about him. But
is he Asian?
Yeah, Japanese, I think. Yeah.
Oh, he is Japanese. I just didn't know if he was playing in Japan.
Yeah, no, I'm not commenting where he's playing. I literally just saw it.
Yeah,
he could be. They're already looking at a backup for him.
Interesting.
So
interesting.
A few goalkeepers going in. Obviously,
what about Wan-Bissaka? Is there any chance of him?
No,
going
I think he's staying. I think the way he finished off at United, and because obviously Delot took his spot, because he had competition, he sorted himself out, got himself to where he was before, and could be starting for the start of in the new season, which is good because you have 2 solid right backs. Wan-Bissaka, one of the best 1v1 defenders in the world, without a doubt, and Delot, who's able to push forward, produce an assist, maybe score a goal if needs be. So got quite a bit of diversity on the right side. Left side was still all good with Luke Shaw and Malacia. Obviously now Phil Jones is out. Obviously end of contract. Obviously he's retiring. I'm pretty sure. Wanting Harry Maguire out. Potentially maybe look at another defender to obviously because we didn't get Kim and Jay. We're gonna still be in need of getting a centre back because Kim and Jay was like one of those ones to replace Varane because obviously Varane is getting on now. He'll take Varane's spot and it'll be Kim and Jay Martinez, which would basically still be like the Varane Martinez because obviously Varane's tall, quick, and I think Kim and Jay would be basically his exact replacement. But I'm sure we'll have a look at someone else, depending on the fund situation and crap like that.
Yeah. So there we go. That's the wrap up. We'll obviously get into other stuff in a minute. We're not wrapping up the show, obviously. Let's go through some what people are saying. Maguire FC. Taylor coming in with his glazes out. Big up Rajat. Hopefully you're doing well. There you go. We've got some talk going on. Welcome in, mate. Welcome in. Hopefully you're doing well. Big up the Bayern View and Taylor Talks United. Watching from Istanbul during my free time. I know that I think you're on holiday or something. So big up to you. Thank you for tuning in, mate. If there's still, we'll get into that in a second. So I'll put your comment back up in a second. Let's just read some rest. Welcome in, Henry. Hopefully you're doing well, mate. Kim and Jay for real. When was the last time Phil Jones played?
Ooh, he did. I remember he played 2 games. I can't remember if it was last season or the season before, but he did pretty decent. Like he actually did like a lot better than everyone thought he would do. That's why it was quite funny because like he came back from like a horrific injury and already did better than Harry Maguire straight off the bat. So it's like, come on. But yeah, he played about 2. I think it was last season or the season before. Pretty sure it was the season before. But yeah, a couple games. I think
it was about the time he won that, wasn't it? Really.
Oh yeah, like he was on 120 to 150, I think, a week. No, come on, that's
doing
just
nothing. That's
being injured. That's in reserves. Like, come on,
that's nuts. That's nuts.
That's a lot of money being saved now.
Yeah, for For real. Yeah, I agree. With the whole money situation, obviously it looks like Manchester United are about to wrap up the Onana deal and get him signed, done and dusted and everything. And then also with Mason Mount obviously being done and dusted. Where is this money coming from? Now I know obviously you guys, as in Manchester United, collectively make a ridiculous amount of money as it is. But like, surely this isn't coming from the Glazers' pocket.
Well, apparently, I think it was either last week or the week before, the Glazers did promise Ten Hag more funds than the 100 million. That was because at one point it was 250, then it dropped to 100 due to FFP. But Glazers have pushed apparently anyway. It's not been 100% confirmed, but according to Sky Sports, he's been promised more funds. No one knows how much or whatever. But obviously, with the Onana, if it's going to be like 55 million euros, it's going to be like 50 million pounds. It would be about, we would have spent 110, so it would have been 10 mil over. But obviously, with Phil Jones gone, David De Gea gone, obviously De Gea was on 25 mil a year or more. Well, he was on 375 a week. So near 30 mil a year. So they're probably pushing those sort of funds from what would have been wages to then maybe into the transfers.
Okay.
Maybe, but no one knows the exact figure anymore because he went from 250 to 100 due to FFP. So we're not too sure.
Okay. Yeah, no, I get you. Taylor looks so different on the thumbnail. It's because he's not wearing his hat, that's why. It's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Where was that? Again, big up to you, mate. Thank you for watching. If this Kane deal will take forever, then we may as well leave the deal and go for Vlahovic. Yes, and yes. Yes, and yes. And then we get Rajat saying it's a bit harsh, make Bayern bleed, and I agree. Like the guy is an idiot. Let's just put it that way. But he's very, very stubborn. I did see a post on Twitter. I'm not gonna be able to find it. This always happens to me. Basically, what it was saying was Bayern Munich is still hoping to get Harry Kane. And they're still going to push. The deal will follow in the next couple of days to a week, or something like that. And then this isn't coming from anyone like Fabrizio or anything like that. But the deal will follow basically, and then from then they're hoping to get Kane between 90 to 100 million. But for me, I think we're wasting our time. Let's go for Vlahovic. Other than that, it's just stupid. But yeah, no, I have to agree with you guys. Like, Harry Kane is probably the guy that's going to do really, really good at Bayern, but Vlahovic will be here for a ridiculous amount of time. He's 23 years old, did ridiculous for Fiorentina when he was there. He's gone to a Juventus, got a big money move there. Was there pressure on that big money move? I'm not sure. But the Juventus team is just plummeted. You've got AC Milan winning a trophy in the last couple of years. You've got Napoli winning the trophy in the last couple of years. You've got Inter Milan winning it the last couple of years. Like, you've got so many different teams in Italy, which they're giants, don't get it twisted, and they were underperforming, but Juventus were just on top of it. And you see that how they've toppled, how the mighty have fallen, and how the other clubs are getting back into it. I think Taylor's on the same wavelength as me, but I'll ask the question anyway. Do you see Harry Kane coming to Bayern at all?
Nah, I think it's all right. Yeah, I've been up and down with the percentage. No, definitely not happening. It's just not worth it. Like, I don't think he even wants to come to Bayern.
Yeah,
because there was talks that he said he would like to come to Bayern. I don't think he does, because I think he really wants to break the English record.
Yeah.
So
because
why not stay at Tottenham? Maybe I don't see him breaking 30 goals. Depends who else they sign, and whether some players can pick up the pace again. I think he would get 25 I think he needs 40 odd to break the record. So, 25 in the new season, and then most likely move to United on a free, then break the record in that new season.
Obviously, I obviously just heard what you just said. Obviously, you think he's going to go to United. Is there in any world do you see him staying at Tottenham?
If he has, if he somehow gets convinced by Levy or the new manager that Tottenham are going to win, Tottenham need to win silverware in this new season for him to sign a new contract. They have to, and obviously, the one they can win first is the Carabao Cup because that's the first trophy you can win.
Yeah.
So if they can win that,
they're not in Europe, so you can't win any of that.
Exactly, no Europe for them. So they can rest, obviously because they're not in the Europe. So if they don't get the Carabao Cup, then I think that's the one they need because FA Cup you wait until the end of the season. Premier League obviously end of the season, and there's no Europe for them. So they've got 3 trophies. They're not winning the Premier League, so it's down to 2. But one of them will have to wait until the end of the season. Oh well, that's after the league ends.
Yeah,
the league ends, and then it's the week after. So
Wembley.
It's going to be difficult whether he's convinced by that point if he's going to stay or not.
Yeah, no, I get you 100%. It's nuts. We are not the type of club to get absolutely robbed by trying to get Kane. Exactly. Yeah, we're not. The problem is I just think we're taking too long with this deal. And I think we're just going to... I think the higher-ups just need to tell Tuchel, we're not going to be able to get him. So let's go for somebody else. Who's your second choice? You know? I don't like this whole Bayern Munich are going to go and get Fulkrug as a stopgap striker because there's still nobody out there. There's still going to be, like, next year, there might be a, Højlund, for instance. Let's say he doesn't go to United and he breaks out. That's going to be one season that he's broken out into. How do we know that he's going to be the future? He could be. He could flop. We don't know. It's mad. Why won't Maguire leave? He won't get to... Yeah, that's one of the main reasons.
It's because his ego is the size of his head. He's got a massive ego and thinks he's the dog with bollocks, basically. I don't know. Yeah. And then, but no one wants him. That's the other thing. No one wants him, especially for the price we want for him.
You kind of screwing yourself over, aren't you?
Exactly. So no one wants him.
I think Kane will either stay at Spurs or join United, depending on what happens with their ownership situation. Yeah, pretty much, to be honest with you. Can force Kane to stay and sign a long-term deal. Who knows? Well, he's done it before when obviously that whole deal with Man City, he's done it before. So Kane leaving on a free and joining Chelsea, that would be mad. That would
I did just see something from Transfer Centre that Pochettino said he's still very close with Harry Kane. Talks to him quite a lot, but he said he won't talk about getting involved with the striker as at this moment in time. So there could be a potential of Chelsea could be in a favourite. If
that would be Sol Campbell all over again.
Yeah, it would. Because him and Pochettino were very, very, very close.
I didn't even think about Poch because obviously that's the manager, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Even I forget sometimes when I see interviews. I'm like, oh yeah, he's Chelsea manager now. So it's going to be interesting what happens.
Yeah, no, he will. He will. Yeah. Well, we don't know. We don't know. Sup, everyone. Welcome in, Bo. Hopefully doing well. I hope we didn't ship with Kane so long that we end up getting no one. Yeah, that's the scary thought, definitely. That they're just going to be like Kane. All season started. Kane. Transfer window's about to end. Kane. Oh crap, got no one. Because that would just...
You might end up doing what United did. We spent a whole transfer window trying to get a striker, and then ended up with Valverde online. Obviously, you don't want to try it. You don't want to end up either getting no one or someone who just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, to be honest, I ended up rather not having anyone because it was just waste of wages. Obviously, I don't think it was much because he came from Bern.
Yeah. Just take the 70 million bid to Juve and start. Exactly. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, exactly. I'm sorry I've said it about 100 times.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's... Yeah. I agree with you. Say we are taking too long, which is why at this point I don't even want Osimhen neither. There's no point even talking. Yeah. I know where you're coming from. I'm not going at you, but there's no point even talking about him because you think Harry Kane's a bad thing. They want about 150 to 200 million now.
It's just not worth it.
It's not worth it, but they're pricing people out to keep him. That's the problem. We need to start moving and preparing for the preseason. Exactly, and the preseason starts in it's on the 15th. So what's that? 12 days, if I can do maths. Is that right? I believe so. So, we need to get a striker in soon. Who's in Tuchel's other striker option other than Harry Kane, Vlahovic, and Kolo maybe?
I don't even think Kolo will be in the conversation.
Not anymore, because PSG seem to be the favourites to go and get him. And again, I keep saying it, and I don't mean to be disrespectful to him, but I generally believe that Kolo Muani is a Matthias Tau with more game time, if I'm honest with you. A player that can play a striker, a player that can play on the wing. So, yeah, there's that. On his other options, well, Harry Kane seems to be the main option. Obviously, Victor Osimhen was a main option, and we were heavily in for him. Next minute, we just chucked that in the bin.
I think it's one of those. It's just attraction. Like, oh look, we might be in for them to kind of get everyone going. Oh, okay. But
yeah, exactly.
I think some of it, our situation with Tchouaméni, I think that was because they would like to hijack from Arsenal. Arsenal ain't getting Tchouaméni, so there won't be no hijacking. Saying that
for real. At this point, I will buy 20. And Fulkrug as well. Yeah, that would only. I think Porto want 20 million, and we could probably get Fulkrug for around 15 to 20 million. So what? That's 40 million for two strikers. Yes, they're two older strikers, but it's yeah. So realistic, we're looking at Fulkrug or nothing. Yeah, I know, Bo. I feel exactly the same. It's like it's not that he's shit, but we're 16 goals in the Bundesliga. It's 16 goals. Yeah, 16 goals in the Bundesliga is literally, a good amount.
We literally, us and Bayern have the same main striker to go for. And then you've got the second options, which are just, you can't rely on the second options.
Exactly. No way Mazzara is leaving now, age 25. Yeah, that, oh my word. The fact that that's even coming out as a story actually scares me for this club. And if you don't know, Taylor, I'll tell you what it is. Basically, the story would come out was that Kyle Walker. Right? Yeah. So Kyle Walker's to come in, and if Kyle Walker comes in, Bayern Munich are ready to open the door for a 25-year-old Mazzari that we got on a free to leave, which is just ludicrous, if I'm honest.
Yeah, that's insane. Not for a 33-year-old, no way.
Exactly. Do you think Tuchel can help Mane get his form back? Well, let's put it this way and be, you guys know my opinion on Tuchel and whatever, and we're not going to get into that in this one, but Tuchel is going to have a full season. So, the jury is out on him. He needs to perform this season with his managerial position and with the players that he's got. Saudi clubs coming in for Mane. I believe that they are true that Saudi clubs are coming in, but at the same time, I think Mane. I think he wants to prove everyone wrong. To be honest, he is one of those types of players. You can see it in him that he is a dog, and he's got that dog in him to the point where he wants to prove everyone wrong. If he proves us wrong and we get that Sadio Mane, then I'm all for it. But yeah, I'm not sure. Get Kyle Walker for some depth. Exactly. That would be the main reason. You get Kyle Walker for depth, but not to let Mazzari leave. That's crazy. I swear, if we somehow don't get a striker, I'll be so annoyed. Yeah, well, I'm with you. What do you mean, Tuchel? It's tickle. Well, I started. Would Dusan Vlahovic fit Ten Hag style or no? I wouldn't be able to tell you that. So I'll let Taylor.
I think it could work. Like, he's someone, obviously he's a young player. He could definitely get built into Ten Hag style, but you wouldn't really know as of now. You'd have to wait for the few things that happens. If it does happen, there was a little bit of linkage to him, but there's not been anything major. I think that's why we've been going for Højlund, because I don't think they see that as a possibility at all. I think he would rather the Bayern move over a Premier League move, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But I think he would work pretty well in his the way he plays.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But you would never know anymore.
Exactly, for real. I agree. So we get Fulkrug this season as a band-aid until next season. Kane stays in the Premier League on a free. We haven't a bit of exactly. Yes. Don't we need no, because Thomas Muller would play there, and Jamal Musiala can play there, and obviously he can play on the left also. So no, I wouldn't say so, mate. I think 2024 is going to be massive. I watched a lot of some football content from Arsenal channels to City channels, United channels. I watch all different stuff to see what's going on. And I like the fan channel aspect of things to see, real opinion and not none of this bait shit. But for me personally, I think Florian Wirtz is going to be the 2024 project for Bayern Munich, but I am scared that I was watching a City channel earlier and they were saying that Wirtz would be their Kevin De Bruyne replacement, which is scary to even think, because who's he going to pick? Is he going to pick a Bayern Munich for the history of him being German, all of this, or and obviously the league, or is he going to go to a treble winning side? A recent treble winning side, sorry. Obviously, we won the sextuple and they haven't done that, and don't see them doing that. But yeah, I'm not sure. Does anyone remember when Tuchel was at Chelsea, the game they lost when the bubbles were floating everywhere? Yep. Mad. He'll forever be Bubbles Tuchel for me. Yeah, for real. Can't wait until Kim and Jay's announcement. Yeah, he I think he's going on holiday. I think he's going on a vacation. Obviously, he's just finished his military appointment, if that's what you would call it, his service, shall I say. So, yeah. Let's get yeah, that's what I would go for. Well, good thing is many Germans don't leave Germany. Exactly. Yes, and that's the thing we got to hope. I think he would rip it for Bayern Munich. I really, really do. He's such a good player.
Kind of like English players for a while. They didn't really. You had your odd one. You had your Gary Lineker. Obviously, he was at Barcelona. Michael Owen, Beckham, and then obviously Sancho and Bellingham, and Tomori,
Abraham,
and now Abraham. Yeah,
he's killing it for Roma as well.
Yeah, he's doing a lot. Yeah, Chelsea have really let one go there.
Oh, Chelsea's just got a terrible history of that, though, haven't they? Mohamed Salah. Lukaku, even though he's not that good now, but De Bruyne now.
Yeah, exactly.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. When Goretzka was leaving Schalke, he could have gone to Barca, but he didn't. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. He went to Leverkusen, didn't he? Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that one doesn't really seem to have worked out. So we kind of did dodge a bullet with that one because we were looking at
I never read him. Never read him anyway.
So yeah, on Tchouaméni though, is there still any links in that, or do you think it's just rumours?
Most likely rumours, but it was like it's from the Sun. You can't really take the Sun to
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to sport as well. But because it was the biggest news outlet in England, like you kind of look at it because it would be something we'd need. Like it would be an absolutely fantastic addition to the squad. But obviously he would put someone aside because you won't see him on the bench. And obviously again Mason Mount, and Mason Mount's going to be playing in Eriksen's position, where I think Tchouaméni would do better. But
where would you play him though? Like let's say it's done and dusted. You've signed him. Where does he play? Because you've got Casemiro, like you just said. Surely Mason Mount's not going to take Bruno's spot.
No, well that's what. So it would be in that Eriksen spot, like just that number 8. So you got your number 6, got your 8, and you got your 10. I think he would play the number 8 role. But I think that's going to be now Mason Mount's role, even though Mason Mount is a number 10, which is still going to be iffy. Because does it mean Bruno's going to get less game time? Is he going to try and put Bruno on the wing because he has played in wing at times? Well,
Mason Mount's played a wing before for Chelsea.
Yeah, true, but he's much better in the midfield than he is on the wing.
Yeah. Let's say with Bruno though, isn't it really?
Yeah, exactly. So it would be weird. It would be. The thing is, we need squad depth, and it's insane how City do it because they have those players on the bench like Bernardo Silva. How he's on the bench. You've got Phil Foden. You've got Laporte. Like I couldn't think of having those players without playing them. Like that's how insane I find it. So it's weird. Obviously, having someone like Fred and McTominay, you kind of understand why they're squad players coming off the bench. But like some of the insane talent, the best, like Bernardo Silva, one of the best in the world in his position, sitting on the bench, and Phil Foden. It's so weird. Obviously, Tchouaméni being how old is Tchouaméni?
He's young.
He's very young. He's younger than Mason Mount. Mount's 24 now. So, I'd probably see Tchouaméni on the bench, but like cup games, I think he'd get a lot of cup game time. Champions League would be like, I don't think so. Maybe groups, but I know like someone like Mason Mount, he's won the Champions League. Casemiro, Varane, you kind of need those people who've won it, who know it well. And obviously, if you have someone like Varane, and in front of Varane, Casemiro, then Mason Mount, like it's a good line of like people who know Champions League. And obviously Onana as well, who was just in the final, was unlucky to win it, to be honest, because City weren't that great and Inter Milan bowled it.
Yeah.
So it was unlucky for him to not win that. So you've got a good line of like players who know Champions League and all that. So I'd see like someone like Tchouaméni playing Carabao, FA, good amount of league games, good amount of Champions League games as well. And obviously, if Casemiro gets a red card, which it probably could happen, he could take Casemiro's spot.
Yeah.
And then you still have Mason Mount in front of him and Bruno in front of him as well. So I think it would be an absolute great addition to the squad.
Yeah. What about Amrabat?
Yeah, I've heard a little bit about him. It's all about. It's basically all about squad depth now. That is
Yes.
it. Like we are nearly set. Like we're getting the keeper in, which is going to cover the goalkeeper spot.
Yeah.
Mason Mount's come in. He's covered the midfield spot, kind of, not fully though, because we still want a number 8, not a number 10.
Yes.
And number 8.
Yeah.
So that's half done. We're still iffy on the right wings because we still got Sancho and Anthony to still come out of their shell, which hopefully, I think it will happen at some point. And then striker, which is obviously the biggest importance. Left wing, we're fine because we've got Rashi. And other players can switch. Sancho can go that side if needs be, which he has done, which I prefer him on the right. He plays. He's proven that he plays better on the right than he does the left. And yeah, so obviously the bench is just the biggest letdown. Obviously now will be Ericsson on the bench, which I think bringing Ericsson off the bench would be brilliant because of his of his vision and all that. And obviously he hasn't got the legs to do 90 anymore. Obviously bring him on for 30, I think he could do really well off the bench.
Especially when they're tired.
Yeah, exactly. I still like Fred to have him off the bench. I think he does really well when he comes off the bench. Not starting off, I think the pressure's too much for him. So having someone like him. If you had someone like Chouameni or Amrabat, still need another centre back for squad depth. We've got left backs and right backs in depth because we still got Sean Malacia, Delot, Wan-Bissaka, so they're all covered. So it's just mainly striker of main and depth, midfield depth, and centre back depth. So it is just all about squad depth now, whether we can pull that off. Because I know United's sort of negotiations, they like to promise players these game times because obviously we've screwed ourselves over the years of giving everyone what they want basically, no matter what. And obviously Ten Hag's trying to he's building different, not trying to overpay in fees and transfers, wages, what not, and obviously not promising you're playing every single game. So it's whether players will be like, oh, I don't know if I like that or not. It's like, oh, before you used to give everyone everything. So what's happened now? It's like, well, we're actually trying to become a team now and not a business. That's the thing. Just the past 10 years, we've been a business. That's all.
Yeah, trying that whole Galactico shit.
Yeah, and it's just not worked. Yeah, in the past 10 years, we've obviously not won the league. We've won an FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and the Europa. It's like 3-4 trophies. So I know Community Shield, but that's meh. That's just Community Shield. So like 4 trophies in 10 years. And obviously Carabao was the first in 6. So obviously Ten Hag's showing like we mean business now. But it's whether he can get what he wants, which is the big issue because you got the Glazers, which is always the biggest. Always sounds like an excuse, but it is the excuse. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you don't perform and when your players don't perform, when your manager doesn't perform, you pull it on them. But when you notice players getting tired, you're bringing on players and they're not good enough. That's when you go to the board and all that. It's like, well, I have no squad depth. I can't deal with these crap players because they can't come on and change the game. Like the start of the season, like after our first 2 really bad losses, his subs were so impactful. He made 3 subs and they're absolutely insane. Like they would actually change the game. Even if we were winning, they would come on and they still do bits. Then he's got to a point where they just weren't good enough. I think everyone was tired because we played so many games. Like we played the most games, apart from City. They played like a few extra games because obviously they won everything, apart from the Carabao. Like they missed out on 1 game out of a whole season that they could have played. So and it's tiring. And when you've got players that are not up to it, not used to playing pretty much every single game that you can in the season, it's going to be tough on them. So that's why you need a strong balance between experience and inexperience. That's why people are like, well, I don't like old players, but you still need old players to
Yeah.
help the young. If you have a full team of 20-year-olds, they're going to get you nowhere.
Well, look at that Ajax team that went against United in the final of the Europa League.
Yeah, like look how young they were, all so young, all of them so talented. All those players. Obviously, as they got older, they became much better, but through experience. United obviously had the experience, even though we actually had a few injuries. Like eggs, we didn't have Ibrahimovic, we didn't have Luke Shaw, Rojo, and Eric Bailly. Like we were losing There were our four main players. Like they played. They were in our starting 11, but obviously they had no experience. So we just did better than them in the end, and that's what we wanted.
Yeah. On the number 8 role, talking about Bayern as well. Now, Ryan Gravenberch has been a player that has obviously wanted a hell of a lot of game time, hasn't got the opportunities, whatever you want to say. And obviously him working with Ten Hag before, do you see United going in for him?
I mean, it is a possibility. Well, with United, bloody any player is a possibility, apparently. Because we tend to be linked to everyone in the world and only getting one player. But I've not heard anything at all about even links to him, even interest in him. Not even Ten Hag's even said anything about him, so I wouldn't really know. By the looks of it, just probably no. I don't think it will happen. Maybe in the future, if depends what happens. Yeah. If he gets his game time or if he gets moved somewhere else, plays really well, and then Ten Hag's like, oh, I can do with that in my system. And then maybe do it. But at this moment, not a clue. I don't think it will happen.
Yeah, no, I get you. That's the problem with Bayern anyway. Obviously, you've been on a couple of the shows, so you would have heard it. And you obviously mean you speak, so you would have heard it from me either way. But the problem with Bayern at the moment, we got a ridiculous amount of midfielders with one position. There's no way you take out Joshua Kimmich. You just can't do that. Like maybe for 1 or 2 games, but you don't do that for a ridiculous amount of games. So it's like, is Leon Goretzka going to play there? Is Ryan Gravenberch going to play there? Marcel Sabitzer, is he going to be sold? We just brought in Konrad Lehmer. He was going to be promised game time. There's no way he would sign the deal otherwise. But then, obviously, a lot of our fans, me included, we still want that DM player, and that's obviously didn't being help linked with Declan.
Exactly.
So, yes, it's a difficult one. I would on the Gravenberch one though. For me, obviously, as a Bayern fan, I don't want to see him go. I want him to get game time. Does he need to be quiet in the media? Yes. Without a doubt. I don't like players that talk out their ass and just talk. That's obviously what burnt the bridge with Lewandowski. Obviously, he was pushing for a move out, but it's never because it's a double-edged sword. He talks, which annoys maybe the manager, annoys maybe the staff, whatever. But at the same time, you can see why he's talking. But then when he does get the game time, he's crap because he's not given game time.
It does go both ways in that sort of sense. Obviously, coming out in interviews we had the issue with Ronaldo, absolutely slammed the club. To be honest, that interview was mostly needed, apart from his comments by Ten Hag. I think that was a bit meh. He just come in. Don't say the new manager. Yeah, he's basically, because he said about nothing's changed. The gym hasn't changed, training hasn't changed, stadium hasn't changed. Basically, pointing the finger at the owners and saying they've done nothing, which was I like that bit. I like most of the interview, but not the 10 out of it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
obviously that's impacted a lot, and Tenor went, "You're gone." What Tuchel needs to do, he needs to push him out. You can't have that sort of downer on your club and players. It's the same with Mane. Obviously, there was a scuffle with him and Sane. No one really knows what happens, but one of those two needs to go, because it's really weird to see Mane do something like that. And was he provoked by Sane? If so, Sane needs going, because is he going to provoke someone else? If not, if like Mane's just lashing out, Mane needs to go because he can lash out at someone else.
Exactly.
Like, you can't have these downers in the dressing room like we've had.
Yeah, it's
before.
not good for the spirit. Yeah.
Exactly.
You've been asked a question here. Will Manchester United look at Alvarez, who's a CDM from Ajax? The problem is, I don't think you need a CDM, do you? You need someone that's going to help Casemiro, if I'm right by saying.
I mean, yes and no. Still need depth.
Mm-hmm.
Would help, like, just in case he gets injured, gets a red card, maybe he's slowing down, just needs a rest. It would be nice. Obviously, you don't want to bring on Scott McTominay or Fred as the replacement of Casemiro, because it's such a downgrade. So it is a yes and no. I've not heard anything on it. If anything was to happen, it'd probably be end of the transfer, probably like deadline day, maybe. But obviously, he likes his Ajax players, or his ex-players anyway. So there's always a possibility if he's worked with those players before, or have been at Ajax at any point. So it is that one is 50-50 at the moment.
Yeah. Now this is going to be. Something just popped in my head, and I'm going to ask you, and please tear it down if it's wrong. But like with Aaron Wan-Bissaka's 1v1 record, would you ever want to see him play at centre back, or do you think he can't fit that role?
No, I don't think so, because I think you would most likely play him on right centre back, where that's currently Varane's spot and Lindelof's. That's where Lindelof plays if he's on. So I don't see it. I don't think his position is right for a centre back. I think he'll be out of position quite a lot. Obviously, it's more risky when he's on as a right back. When he's out of position, he can track back really well and do his spider tackles. Obviously, they're normally on the edge of the outside of the box towards the corner.
He wouldn't be.
If he does that as a centre back, there's potentially him not making the tackle because he's like, I don't know if I'll make it, and then there's making the tackle and then seeing the penalty. So no, I don't see him. But then that would also kind of reduce our right back spot, where like having two right backs, it will work.
Yeah,
but obviously that's why you have Luke Shaw. He's the best at coming as a centre back at the same time.
And that was literally where I was going with the next one I was going to ask you. So flipping it to the other side of your teams, with Luke Shaw, obviously you said obviously Man United were looking at Kim Min-jae. Obviously that deal seems to not have obviously happened. Won't happen. Is there any other centre back you're being linked with?
North.
I thought you guys going for Julian Timber, but he's just signed for Arsenal.
Yes, I think that was very early on. Timber, I think that was just a look, but nothing as much as Kim Min-jae that we wanted.
Yeah.
Obviously, you lot were just straight onto it without a doubt. Obviously, I think it was more of like, we don't know what money we've got, so everything was so weird. And then Mason Mount was then the number one priority, so priorities got changed. So we didn't go for it. We didn't end up getting Kim Min-jae. But yeah, from top of my head, there's not a great deal of like looking at other centre backs.
Yeah. again, this is going to be an out there question, but like
Mhm.
with Luke Shaw obviously playing at centre back at times when obviously you had injuries or whatever, would you like to see another left back come in and then Luke Shaw go to centre back permanently, or?
Interesting. That's another yes and no. I think
Okay.
he's still better as a left back. The way he
Okay.
drives forward, his link up with Rashford is brilliant. Malacia's still getting there. He won't be
Yeah.
number one. And the only left back I could think which Bayern might lose is Davies, but I don't see that working because obviously he doesn't want to play left back. So I don't think that would happen. But like, if we ever got like an Alphonso Davies, maybe like say to him, look, there might be some games we need you left back, but there might be games we need you left wing. So obviously Rashford is the main left winger. Obviously
Yeah.
Sancho can go there, or rather not. Have someone like Davies. You can have him both left back and left wing. So maybe someone like him, but there's even United's not even had a sniff at him, I don't think. And no one knows what would happen with him at Bayern anyway.
Yeah.
So you'd have to kind of wait until if he signs a new deal or goes on a free. But he would most likely go to Real Madrid.
Ugh, don't want to see that happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, don't want that happening at all. Got more updates on Kyle Walker joining Bayern Munich. There was a tweet put out 6 hours ago, mate. Basically saying Kyle Walker would cost around 50 million euros plus add-ons. Contract terms, duration, and salary have been negotiated. Still waiting for the players. Yes, and that's coming from Politico. So. That's all we really got there. 15 million euros plus add-ons isn't too bad for a Kyle Walker, to be honest with you. But I only want him if Mazzari's staying. This is again another problem with Bayern, and what Bayern seem to be having at the moment is like we're linked with a good player that's just won a treble, that's really really fast. That's there's a good squad depth, like obviously what Taylor's been talking about his club, but like at the same time, if we're about to let Mazzari leave on a free, no thank you, because what's the point in that? You know what I mean? Like he was obviously struggling for game time when Cancelo was in. If we go and get Kyle Walker, that's a Tuchel signing. So he's obviously going to want him to play. So it's a hard one. It really, really is a hard one. But yeah, we're coming up to an hour. Anything else you want to talk about, my man?
No, there's not anything I can think of. Not any. There's definitely not any United stuff at the moment. Maybe any buying questions. What would you, from what has gone on the transfer market and whatnot, what are you most likely seeing happening by the end of the window? Like, what do you think realistically happens?
As in, as a whole, or
as a whole, everything.
I'm guessing you mean ins and not outs.
Both.
Or both.
Either or. Even just the club in general, if like board stuff's going on, ownership, whatever.
Yeah. If we were to go ins, I think obviously Kim and Jay's going to happen, which I'm happy about. I know a lot of people want to winger, but I don't see it happening unless there's going to be a surprise signing that we don't know of, which obviously Mane was one of those. I think I don't want to say it, and I don't want to be disrespectful to him. And if he does sign for Bayern Munich, I will back him, of course. But I think Fulkrug will be Bayern Munich striker next this season going forward. So yeah, I see him being the striker. Outs, I think Sadio Mane is still a massive, massive candidate to go, even though obviously he wants to stay, he wants to prove everyone wrong and everything. The fact of him being Muslim, if I'm right by saying that, and obviously that league, getting a lots of Muslims in, and obviously that's their religion and all of that stuff. you know. But again, does he want to play in Europe? This is the problem. He might still want to play in Europe. I don't know. And again, he doesn't need the money anyway, because I know that a lot of his money, obviously, he's earning 22 million euros at Bayern a year. But like I swear he like gives half of his money to charity anyway. Like the guy's not.
Yeah,
he's not
he
a
does.
dickhead.
Yeah,
Like,
he does. He's where's he? What's his nationality?
Senegal.
Senegal. He does a lot for like his country and
Yeah.
like building hospitals and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, like, I think he's a candidate to go. I don't think Sane will go. I don't think Coman will go. I don't think Gnabry will go. Gnabry definitely ain't going. Musiala's not going anywhere. I know a lot of people would like Leon Goretzka to go, but he's not going to go anywhere. Just don't see that happening. I'll be gobsmacked if that one happens. Of course, I'll be gobsmacked if Harry Kane was to come in, because that's dead for me. Trying to think. Talked about Kim and Jay. Maybe another goalkeeper coming in. It looks like Jan Sommer might be going to Inter Milan now. And then maybe that's obviously the replacement talk, because obviously you guys are going to sign their keeper. So yeah, Fulkrug, maybe a backup goalkeeper, but we do still have Ulreich, and obviously a young lad, being the third choice. So I'm not sure. So yeah, that's what I would go with. Management, I think going into the season, obviously Thomas Tuchel's going to be the manager. I don't see anyone getting sacked or anything on the board. Obviously, they just got rid of Oliver Kahn and Brazzo at the end of the season, just gone. So, you know, all of the big boys are back and all of that stuff. So, what's this saying? If I were Bayern, I might accept him on a 2-year deal, nothing more. You mean Kyle Walker? Yeah. Yeah, it won't be a long deal. I'll be very surprised if it's a long deal. To wrap this up, obviously we spoke about your club, spoke about mine. What are we thinking?
Yeah, that will happen either this season or next season. See what happens, because obviously PSG are adamant to either extend or sell. They are very adamant. He's got very little time to make choice whether he signs, but they are willing. Whoever's the highest bidder, they take. Obviously, but it's still down to him if he accepts.
Yeah, that's what I think.
But
it's not funny from a club's perspective. Sorry, I mean to interrupt. It's not funny in a club's perspective, of course, because if this was happening to your club, or my club, it's horrible. But like, realistically, they have no power, which is nuts, because like they are paying him his wages, but like they generally have no power. And this day and age, it looks like a lot.
He's like an owner of the club. Like he has so many, he has opinions of what happens and stuff like that. Like I'm pretty sure the new manager they just brought in, he probably had a say in that management like approval. Obviously they've said like, oh, like this is hurting us. Whatever, we've helped you out and your family out, which a big statement from
that's a bit
because that was like quoted as well. Like they mentioned like him and his family that they've helped them out. It's like, well, you're now going into family territory, and he's
definitely leaving on a free.
Yeah. So whether you play him or not, like if you ain't gonna play him, you're not gonna win anything. So it's up to you. But if you punish him, then you have a guy who's on 10 billion a year, which it feels like sitting there doing nothing, just wasting money, which you just wouldn't do when you have with Mbappe. And their asking price is 150 million. I think Real Madrid, because he was going to Real Madrid will get him. Even I said about United earlier, one of my shorts, that they, test the boundaries, go to 100 to 150 million, if possible. Like, obviously, we don't have those funds, but like, it's if that option came up, I think try it. Why say no? If they're looking for the highest bidder, why not place a bid? even you place a £10 million bid, make a bid, and get people see what other people do. I know Real Madrid will pop in. They might come in straight away. Go 200 mil. All right, bring them in now.
Especially if someone else bids, they will come in because they're not going to want to fuck around with that because that's just obviously prolonging his arrival. But I to answer your question, Rajat, yes. Will it be this season? No, I don't think so. I think he will see out his contract, and he will go on a free, which will be the biggest transfer going forward in the next summer because he is one of the best players in the world. So craziness.
Best and expensive.
Yeah, right. How I wish Sane's lazy ass would go. I'm sick of his attitude, to be honest. Lack of any production and selfish game. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know exactly where you're coming from. Or I would give Walker 2 years plus further year. Yeah, we could definitely do that one. But either way, hopefully you have enjoyed. Obviously, me and Taylor have been in ridiculous amount of shows the past couple of weeks where we've done like 3 hours. We ain't doing any of them anymore. Unless it's like a funny one. I wanna get back into doing going. I don't want to be doing none of this off the rails type shit. Which at times it's fun, but we can, if needs be, we can just talk. It's long and we could just talk off screen. But either way, if you have enjoyed, smash the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, all of that good stuff. Taylor's link is in the title, not even in the description. It's in the title. Click his name. Go and hit him with a subscribe, a sub, shall I say? He doesn't upload videos. He uploads short, so they're easy to watch. 15 seconds to a minute, easy to watch. And yeah, man, love having you on. Obviously, you're a brother to me anyway, but yeah, man, we're gonna grow together, 100%. And hopefully, your club doesn't get the ownership, because otherwise, you're gonna end up taking some of our players. Glazes out. Yeah, for real. But either way, thank you so much, guys. And until then, I'll see you on the next one. Mia san mia. Peace out.